The Midnight Vendetta by Obscura Chronicles. When a tortured voice calls from a locked room, chained and struggling to speak, and the caller's final message leads Damien to a sinister conspiracy, one that reaches into the highest echelons of power, he realizes this is no ordinary mystery. The shadow of a ruthless blackmailer looms large, a figure known only as the Prince of Night, whose secrets could destroy nations. Damien is dragged into a deadly game of deceit and murder, where every phone call, every whispered warning, every shadow in the night could be the difference between life and death. Chapter 1. Damien Shaw slammed down the receiver with irritation. The phone had become a nuisance these past few days. He had been idle, restless, and the ringing disturbed him incessantly. A woman from the city had inexplicably taken to calling him, her voice occasionally sweet, but her calls purposeless and distracting. Damien had no idea who she was, where she lived, or why she fixated on him. Yet she kept calling. At that moment, he was particularly frustrated when the phone rang again. He answered sharply. "Hello," a melodious voice said. "Again?" Damien said coldly. "Yes, I thought perhaps my father might come this way," she replied quickly, then hung up. Damien's patience snapped. "At least tell me your father's name and address," he demanded. "Never. You won't kill my love. I know you well." Before Damien could respond, he shouted, "Elias!" "Yes, sir," came the voice of his servant. On the line, he heard the woman's crying. She whispered, "Why are you so cruel?" Damien handed the phone to Elias, who answered cautiously, "Yes, sir." After a tense silence, Elias's face showed confusion. "Yes, sir, it's me, Elias." When he hung up, his hand trembled. "What was that about?" Damien demanded. "How would I know, sir?" "You've made my phone unclean by flirting with strange women," Damien scolded. "No, sir, I don't know who she was." "Again with that nonsense. Brazen boldness?" "Yes, sir," Damien scoffed. "Are there ghosts here?" "No, sir." "I swear. Have you read Friedrich Nietzsche?" "No, sir." "What's that?" "Philosophy. Nonsense," Damien muttered, dismissing the topic. Elias scratched his head and left. Damien's flat was empty these days. Valeria had moved out. Tolerating a man like Damien was no small task. He hadn't been home in months, barred by Mr. Douglas's orders. He would stop at the gate, recite Shakespeare or Socrates, then leave. Elias had remained loyal, quitting his previous master to serve Damien. After Valeria left, Damien erased the Institute of Marriage and Divorce sign and replaced it with a plain board. He wrote in chalk, "Damien Shaw, Ph.D., Stanford." When leaving, he erased his name and wrote, "Elias, this idiot has no degree." The sign stayed weeks. Elias never dared erase it. The assistant director of the NCA, Ryan Blake, demoted from deputy director, was confused whether Damien belonged to the foreign or home department. He never imagined Damien held a special post in the foreign secretary's service. No one knew Damien's source of income. Damien himself thought the concept meaningless. If the phone kept ringing, the leftovers might as well go to an orphanage. The bell rang again. Damien answered sharply, "This is Damien's Uncle Douglas speaking." But the voice was not a woman's. Two men were talking. One was in pain, groaning. I called with difficulty, hands tied to a chair." "How did you dial?" "Dragged chair to table, held pencil in teeth, dialed with it. Dropped receiver on table with head. Now I can hear you, but my neck hurts. Don't know this building." "How did you get there?" "Don't know. Doors and windows locked. Wait." The call ended. Damien checked the directory for the number. The private phone of Foreign Secretary Sir Oliver. He pocketed the receiver and headed out, erasing his name from the board and replacing it with God's Grace. Locking the flat, Damien walked to the garage, retrieved his two-seater and drove towards Sir Oliver's bungalow. Chapter 2. Sir Oliver's mood was low that day, so he hadn't gone to the office. Reclined in an easy chair on the veranda, he flipped through newspapers, news, editor letters, ads, when Damien's two-seater entered the compound. Surprise flickered on Sir Oliver's face as he spotted him. "How did you get here?" Sir Oliver asked, before Damien even reached the veranda. "I came to ask if there's any vacant bungalow nearby." Sir Oliver stared for a moment. "Speak seriously, or I'll tear your ears off." "I am serious, sir, and I predict trouble is coming your way." "I don't understand. Sit down." "No time to sit. We must act quickly." "You're a strange man. What nonsense is this? Your phone number is 91690, right?" "Yes, but there must be a vacant bungalow nearby." "Not until you explain everything," Sir Oliver said, eyes fixed on Damien. He'd never heard him speak so informally. Damien summarized the phone incident briefly. "Maybe a prank," Sir Oliver said, puzzled. "You don't lack enemies," Damien replied. "Yes, but two phones with the same number. Impossible. Still, there's a vacant bungalow just behind mine." "Then we must hurry, maybe break in." "I have the key," Sir Oliver said, rising. "It belongs to a relative, and it's for rent." "Does it still have a phone?" "No, not anymore." "I'll check the back then." Sir Oliver went inside. Damien approached the other bungalow's rear. The distance was short. Damien saw the telephone wires, pursing his lips thoughtfully. The key arrived. Sir Oliver sent it by a servant. "Tell your master to come himself," Damien said. "How do I say that?" the servant asked. Damien scribbled a note, tore the page, and handed it to the servant. "If you can't say it, give this to him. Hurry." The servant left. Damien paced restlessly, his gaze returning repeatedly to the wire, linking Sir Oliver's pole to the other bungalow's wall. After a few minutes, Sir Oliver arrived, looking irritable. "I still think it's a prank," he said. "But look at this," Damien pointed upward. "What does this connection mean? Running from your pole?" Sir Oliver's eyes widened. "Very strange." "Come," Damien urged, leading the way. They circled to the bungalow's veranda. Sir Oliver muttered, "There was a lock here." Damien ignored him, advancing. Sir Oliver quickened his pace. Damien stopped at the door, inspected the bolt, wrapped his handkerchief around his hand, and pushed the door open. Sir Oliver followed silently. "Notice these marks," Damien said, pointing to clear footprints on the dusty floor. The bungalow had been vacant for some time. Dust coated the walls. Damien traced the footprints to a closed room. He glanced at Sir Oliver. "What? Are you suspecting me?" Damien asked. "No, but open the door." "With your permission," Damien said softly, and pushed it open. Sir Oliver hurried inside, anxiety etched on his face. Both surveyed the room in silence. Near the table lay an overturned chair beneath which pooled fresh blood. Fragments of rope littered the floor. "The corpse?" Sir Oliver whispered. "Unknown," Damien said thoughtfully, "but whoever it was gave out your phone number. This must be a conspiracy against you." "Against me?" "Yes. You should inform the police. I will stay. You leave. There's no phone here. Maybe in haste, they didn't disconnect the line. That's in your favor." "I don't understand," Sir Oliver said, exasperated. "Call. Don't you trust me?" Sir Oliver hesitated, then left. Damien stood alone, lost in thought, bending over the table, studying something unseen. Suddenly, the sound of running footsteps approached. Damien moved quickly to the door. Sir Oliver appeared, stopping abruptly, breathless and embarrassed, as if unaccustomed to such haste. "Really, Damien," he panted, "a conspiracy." "What happened?" "A corpse." "Where?" "In my lower garden. Come." Damien followed swiftly. He had never seen Sir Oliver so shaken. Once a military man, even now his composure rarely faltered. In the garden, beneath rose bushes, lay a face-down corpse. The dagger's hilt was lodged firmly in the back. Sir Oliver blinked like a child, dignity wiped from his wet face. "You didn't make the call?" Damien asked. "No chance," Sir Oliver said, licking dry lips. "But..." Damien waited. "But?" Sir Oliver faltered, silence following. You wanted to say something, Damien prompted. I don't know what to do. Sir Oliver sank to the lawn, hands gripping his head, eyes closed. I've never seen you like this. Why worry so much? A corpse alone doesn't prove you committed murder. We came this way. Yes? But the corpse wasn't here then. Perhaps not, Damien said indifferently. What worries you? I should make the call. Sir Oliver rose unsteadily. Damien watched him closely as he staggered toward the veranda. Chapter 3. After the police left, Damien faced Sir Oliver. Are you hiding something? He asked sharply. Sir Oliver stiffened, his face paling. Hiding what? Was the deceased a stranger to you? Completely. That makes the criminal's motive unclear. No suspicion can fall on you. Sir Oliver said nothing. Damien pressed on. If this is a conspiracy, it would be different. If you knew the man, and others knew your conflict with him. Sir Oliver nodded. Then your worry is baseless. He faltered, about to speak, but Damien interrupted. What service do you require? I can't say what you could do. I might help, but only if you share everything. Damien's tone was firm. Sir Oliver hesitated, then said, I want you to find the killer. I will, but you must answer my questions. No problem, Sir Oliver said, regaining composure. The corpse had been removed, the police gone. Have you quarreled with anyone lately? Damien asked. No. Has anyone been denied a promotion because of you? No. Then how will the killer be found? You have no enemies, nor does anyone have grudge against you. The victim was a stranger, killed in a house whose key you alone held, then dumped in your garden. Even you must be puzzled. Sir Oliver remained silent. Damien studied his face carefully. He sensed Sir Oliver was hiding something. Someone tapped your phone line. The phone drama, it was staged. The killer wanted the victim to make a last call and chose your number. The man who received it was likely as surprised as I was to see your number in the directory. Maybe not. God knows. How will you find him? How do you know the number dialed? I don't, but I will try. Voices came from adjoining rooms, worry and tension, but no one dared enter Sir Oliver's room. He was a man who brooked no intrusion. Give me permission, Damien said without looking up. Very well, Sir Oliver said, standing and extending his hand. As he rose, a small photograph slipped from his clothes to the floor. He bent quickly to retrieve it. Damien's hand remained outstretched, but his gaze fixed on the photo. It was a picture of an owl, an odd keepsake Sir Oliver seemed to hide. He smiled awkwardly. A man understands his own troubles, he muttered. Such things drive me mad. What's this? Damien asked. There's a bloodstain on the back, and writing. Sir Oliver sighed deeply and sank back into his chair. I can explain, but you may think me mad. I won't, Damien said, determined. Sir Oliver handed over the photograph. Damien inspected it closely. The bloodstain was fresh, the ink still vivid. The writing was simple. Prince of Night. A childish prank, Damien said coldly. Sir Oliver said quietly, I found it on the corpse. That prank will haunt him in death, Damien said. Then fixing Sir Oliver with a steady look, he asked, if it was on the corpse, why keep it secret until now? Do you suspect me? Sir Oliver asked uneasily. Damien drummed his fingers on the chair's arm, silence falling between them as he stared into Sir Oliver's eyes. Go, Sir Oliver snapped, irritated. I don't know where to begin. If you can't, allow me. What? This picture. I might recall something. Do you know anything about it? Sir Oliver sat up sharply. Only this, that one of the world's most mysterious men has targeted you. Who? What do you know? Later? I'll speak of him another time. For now, I may find the man the victim called. He's likely near your bungalow. Damien expected Sir Oliver to protest, but he only extended his hand in farewell. In truth, Damien knew nothing of the picture's meaning. He had bluffed, hoping to unsettle Sir Oliver and elicit more. Sir Oliver, however, remained tight-lipped, only briefly showing surprise at the mention of a mysterious figure. As he left, Damien paused and said, "Photograph the corpse and send me the images. I don't want to get tangled with Assistant Director Ryan Blake. You know how poisonous our relations are." Without waiting for a reply, he exited. Chapter 4. Damien's intuition proved flawless. Near Sir Oliver's bungalow, a well-dressed man stood as if awaiting someone. As Damien's car passed, he considered the possibility that this might not be the man. After a recent police removal of a corpse, lingering here seemed unlikely, yet it was plausible the man had arrived afterward, unaware of the events. This was no impoverished district where gossip lingered like smoke. Here, life resumed as if nothing had occurred. Windows had opened briefly, a few residents had stepped out, then retreated. Silence had reclaimed the streets. Damien slowed his car, stopping near a corner. He reversed into a narrow space between two bungalows, feigning a wrong turn. Then he stopped and exited. From the corner, he saw the man again, now joined by another. They spoke quietly beside a luxury car. The two men entered the vehicle and drove away. Damien hurried back to his car, engine still running. A careless lapse he immediately corrected. He pursued the vehicle, uncertain if he was on the right trail. Investigations often begin on mere suspicion, taking uncertain paths that sometimes lead to the truth. He followed into the city's busiest district. The car entered the compound of El Zorro, one of the largest hotels nearby. Damien recognized the passenger, El Zorro's manager. His own car followed inside. Damien anticipated the manager might head to his room, but he and his companion sat at an empty dining table. Without hesitation, Damien approached, pulled out a chair, and sat with deliberate familiarity. The men regarded him with surprise and irritation. Damien opened his mouth in mock realization, but spoke seriously. "When you looked up the number in the telephone directory, you found it belonged to Foreign Secretary Sir Oliver. Am I correct?" The companion stared wide-eyed, fear flickering in his gaze. The manager's tone sharpened. "Who are you, and what do you want?" "I seek your cooperation, and what a saint's call it was." "I don't recall ever seeing you," the manager growled. "Even if I had, it wouldn't matter. What's meant to happen, happens. There are teeth marks on that pencil used to dial your number, held between the victim's teeth. It's established that before dying, he was bound to a chair in an empty bungalow next to Sir Oliver's. A wire runs from Sir Oliver's pole to that bungalow." "You lost me," the manager interrupted, voice trembling. "I'm saying you arrived after the corpse was removed." "What corpse?" The companion swallowed nervously. "The fresh corpse, not yet decomposed," Damien said. "Stop wasting my time," the manager snapped. "Pretending familiarity with strangers is rude." "Only when the strangers are women," Damien retorted, rolling his eyes. The manager glared. "Get out!" "Listen," Damien said seriously. "Senior officials and ministers' phones differ from ordinary lines. At the exchange, a silent printer logs both numbers when a call is made. That's how I didn't come directly." The manager's face drained of color. His companion seemed on the verge of suffocation. "Who are you?" the manager asked, fear evident. "Is there really a need to say?" "Police." "Exactly," Damien nodded. "Choose your words carefully." "I don't know how this happened," the manager murmured. "Can we speak in private?" "You're respectable men. I don't want this gossiping among commoners." "Thank you. Follow me to my office." They rose and left. Damien led the conversation. "He was killed in that bungalow, and his body dumped in Sir Oliver's compound. Sir Oliver's number was used to call you. I can tell you what the victim said." The manager said nothing. Damien fixed his gaze on him, then asked, "Who was the deceased?" "El Zorro's partner." "Mr. Patrick," the manager said quietly. "Patrick and partner. I like the rhyme. But sir, what scheme?" "I don't know any scheme, nor how he ended up there," the manager replied. "You may not know, but you know the scheme. Don't lie. I know every word of your phone conversation with him." Silence fell. "Speaking will benefit you," Damien said quietly. Otherwise, you understand your perilous position. This involves the Foreign Secretary. The manager bowed his head, inhaling deeply. Yes. Hurry. You'll have to explain why the corpse was dumped in Sir Oliver's compound. Not even your guardian angels can answer that. You know police interrogations are merciless. Deaf, dumb, blind, machines that beat answers out. Do you even believe me? That's for me to decide, Damien said softly. But I must hear it from you. After a pause, the manager spoke. Mr. Patrick was involved in a scheme about a man. He believed if he caught him, he'd get rich. Who? He didn't say. Patrick spent most of his life in the USA. The man was from there. Is he here now? Damien asked. Yes, Patrick said so. Where? Who is he? I don't know, but he's staying in Bernard Collingwood's guest house. You know Collingwood has American business and often hosts American traders in a special guest house. Damien nodded, thoughtful. Did Patrick mention his name or describe him? Number one never asked, and he didn't tell. Patrick was obsessed with alchemy, like a narcotic. Wealthy, but consumed by the quest for gold, 24 hours a day. Note Patrick's address, Damien said, producing his notebook. 13 Marston Road. He lived alone. Any relatives? None that I know. Damien glanced at the manager's companion. My assistant, Mr. Adam, he said. One last question. Did Patrick say he might need your help to catch that man? Yes. He said the man was dangerous, clever, and a major criminal. I was ready to help. I have no sympathy for criminals. Good. You should be a cop. Damien smiled. Thank you, sir. Ready to assist any time. Chapter 5. Shortly after, Damien's car pulled up at the 13th bungalow on Marston Road. The grand house and its well-kept garden reflected Patrick's refined taste. As Damien stopped, a heavy-set man emerged onto the veranda. Damien recognized him immediately. Bill, a professional boxer known in the city's tough circles, and a man indebted to Damien for once rescuing him from a notorious gambling gang. Without Damien's help, Bill might have lost both money and life. Bill hurried forward. Hey, it's you. What brings you here? Bill, I need your help, Damien said, as they entered the veranda together. I'm at your service, Sir Damien. You waste your talents. You could have been a champion boxer. I'll never forget your punches on the Mexican gang. Some say I play the flute well, Damien replied with a dry smile. But let's leave that. I'll decide which talent to cultivate before I die. I'm ready for anything, Bill said earnestly. You work for Patrick? Yes, sir. I train him in boxing. Have a seat. Coffee or cold drink. Damien sat. Was Patrick here last night? Do you live here permanently? Yes. Patrick's kind. He gave me a room and cared for me. Was he here last night? Until 7 p.m. After that, no. That's not alarming. Why ask? He often stays away for days. What's the matter? Has something happened? Answer first, then I'll explain everything. All right. Could something have happened to Patrick? Bill hesitated. I don't like hiding things from you. Even bad men have conscience. I know. You kept your promise to live honestly, but I suspect you protect Patrick out of gratitude. Yes, exactly. You'll be sorry to hear he was murdered today at noon. Bill staggered back. Murdered? Yes, under mysterious circumstances. Bill rubbed his forehead anxiously. That's why I must ask. Do you know anything? Do you suspect me? Number. You've lived honestly. Did Patrick fear this? I think so. He mentioned a foreigner staying at Bernard Collingwood's guest house. What about? A big financial gain if he caught him. Was Patrick that kind of man? Number in 6 months, I never heard such talk. He said the foreigner was a dangerous criminal. Did he say the name? Number only that he might need my help. Damien pondered. With a man like Bill, why would Patrick need El Zorro's manager? Bill would have risked anything for him. Bill was educated. Patrick must have known he could get the number from the directory, unless there was no phone there. "Is there a phone here?" Damien asked. "Yes." "Then why call El Zorro's manager? He must be involved and now denies it." "Did Patrick want your help? Think about it. He was involved with a dangerous man. Did he share his plan?" "Number." But someone pointed him to the American trader. "Who?" "El Zorro's manager." Damien exhaled, locking eyes with Bill. After silence, Bill bombarded Damien with questions. Damien answered all but the meeting with El Zorro's manager. "Bill, did Patrick say El Zorro's manager suggested this?" "I must think. Are you suspecting him?" "Answer first, then explain why you asked." "I'll answer. This feels like a deep conspiracy. Patrick once slipped that the manager had a hand but dismissed it." "Thank you. What else?" "Patrick was no saint. His record included crimes. 15 days ago, I learned he was a liquor smuggler, and the manager was involved too." "How did you learn that?" "One night, drunk, Patrick confessed after a fight with the manager. You understand?" "Perfectly. Who else is here?" "3 servants." "Know any relatives?" "None. He never mentioned any." "I want to question them. I'll call them." Bill left and returned with 3 servants. After 20 minutes of questions, Damien still learned nothing about relatives. He told Bill he intended to search the bungalow. Bill did not object. His own safety depended on cooperation. Chapter 6. As evening fell, Damien returned to Sir Oliver's bungalow. Sir Oliver sat on the lawn with senior officers, including Damien's uncle, Douglas Shaw, the Director General of the National Crime Agency. Seeing Damien, Sir Oliver excused himself and led him inside. "Why are you here?" "Your uncle looked displeased," Sir Oliver said with a faint smile. "An uncle's an uncle, whether the nephew likes it or not. The dead man is Patrick, from Marston Road, Bungalow 13, a man of means." "You're worth your weight in diamonds," Sir Oliver said. "The NCA has found nothing. He was a liquor smuggler, but the owl ended his life." "What do you mean?" "Won't you tell me about the United States?" Damien asked casually. Sir Oliver flinched as if stung. "Why fear it?" Damien pressed, hitting the mark. Sir Oliver's face paled. "You have remarkable skills. I trust you. If you were my son, I'd be worthless. Being a son is already a burden." "Sit down. I'm in a real fix and need your help, in secrecy. I'm trapped by a powerful blackmailer." Sir Oliver settled in. "I've never seen him. Years ago in Paris, I served at the French embassy and faced this man. He knew a secret of mine, one that would destroy me if revealed. I got a letter with an owl's photo and the words Prince of Night written on the back. The letter detailed the secret. Later, I was coerced into tasks under threat. Each time, an envelope with the owl's picture arrived. Now, he's here, demanding a grave task, one risking national honor. When I ignored him, he staged this crime nearby, to intimidate me. He can kill me like he killed that man and dumped the body in my compound. What do you think?" Sir Oliver stared at Damien. "You won't reveal your secret." "Never." "Then at least tell me what he wants now." "I can't say." "But how did you learn of his American ties?" "I pieced it together. Is that wrong?" Rumor in Paris said many elites were under his shadow. He was called Owl. No one ever saw him. "What do you think of him?" "A blackmailer, nothing more." "Do you think he's real or just bluffing?" "He's real and dangerous." "That picture you saw was on the corpse?" "Yes." "Give it to me." "Take it, but finding him will be difficult." "I'm no NCA detective. Leave that to me." "No one must know that picture came from the corpse or that this blackmailer is linked to me." "Rest assured, I'm no NCA agent. Have you arranged photos of the corpse?" "They'll reach you by morning." "Then I'm going." Without waiting, Damien left, Owl's picture in hand. Chapter 7. The city glittered under colorful lights. The night was mild, clouds heavy, and the air thick with impending rain. Damien relished such nights, not as poets do, praising rain from sheltered windows, but by stepping out, embracing it fully. He didn't use his car. Instead, he took a taxi through Greenwich Town until the rain began. "Where to, sir?" "It's raining," the driver said. "Drop me here." "On the road?" "Yes." Damien paid and stepped out into the downpour. Soaked, his felt hat barely clinging, he entered the compound of Bernard Collingwood, a major trader. The colourful lights lost charm beneath the rain's roar. Suddenly, dogs approached, barking fiercely. Damien dodged into a nearby veranda, waving his hat like a weapon, growling back. A woman's voice scolded the dogs. Several servants restrained them. Damien heard laughter, 4 girls, including one Russian. "Are you a man or a donkey?" The Russian girl named Beatrice teased him. "I didn't sound like a donkey," Damien said innocently. They laughed. "Who are you? Why here?" "The rain. It's heavy." "You see," Damien said, adjusting his ruined hat, then discarded it. The dogs barked inside. "Please leave," said Beatrice. "They'll ruin our sleep." "You're soaked." "That's why I won't go home. My parents won't let me in." "Emily," a girl called, "we must help him." "No, Mr. Bernard dislikes strangers." "I didn't say he should see him." "Orders." Beatrice, Bernard's secretary, seemed irritated. "Come with me." "No," Damien said painfully. "Don't fight for me. Maybe it's my last night. The streets flood, manholes open. I might fall and drown." Emily stepped forward. "Wait till the rain stops." "Who dislikes strangers?" "I'll explain. He's my father." "What if he's angrier than mine?" "Emily," Beatrice muttered and left. "She's irritable," Damien said. "Daddy's secretary. Come, you're soaked." They led him inside an empty room. "Bathroom's there to change." "Where are my clothes?" "Could you stay in petticoat and blouse? Clothes will dry." They laughed. Damien stared blankly. "You talk dog language. Now be a woman among women." "I'll be a dog, not a woman. Women bite without warning. Dogs apologize first. I'll leave when rain stops." Footsteps neared. "Daddy's coming." Beatrice must have told him, Emily said. A frail old man appeared. Bernard Collingwood, nervous and restless. "What's going on?" "Nothing, Daddy. He was soaked." "So?" "Drying clothes till rain stops. If it doesn't, then he leaves." "Better now." Damien eyed Bernard carefully. "See? I told you," Damien said, almost crying. "Only acquaintances get sympathy. Why do corpses lie unclaimed?" "Don't teach politics to girls," Bernard snapped. "Very well," Damien nodded. "Daddy, I promised them," Emily pleaded. "I didn't." "My roofs, mister. Why stand?" Damien sat on the floor. "Call the police," Bernard said sharply. Damien ignored him. "Fine," Beatrice said, leaving. "Wait, I'll poison myself if you call police." "Beatrice, go." "I won't leave. It won't be good if you hand him over." "Did you know him?" "No name, no." "Then you're crazy." Emily turned to Damien, still cross-legged. "Go." "I'm embarrassed. Before police come." "Let them come," Damien said serenely, raising a hand. "You're mad. Go." "I didn't come for God. Won't leave for God. What tyranny is this? Owls get guest houses. Sons soaked in streets." Socrates said. "What?" Bernard gasped. "I'm a man's son, not an owl's." "Who are you?" "Prince of Night," Damien said simply. Bernard leaned on the wall to steady himself. Footsteps rushed. Beatrice appeared, breathless. "Mister, please come with me." Damien rose. Chapter 8. Beatrice hurried down the corridor with Damien. They entered a room, and she closed the door behind them. "I apologize," she said, her voice trembling. "Whatever happened was unintentional." "Very well," Damien replied softly. "Valeria called about you earlier. I thought it might be you. She told me everything. I asked her to send you here for a few days. Valeria is my friend." "Good. Now, get to the point. I have little time." "Mr. Bernard wants a private detective. I know licenses are hard to get here." "No matter. I manage somehow. What's the nature of the work?" "This case is tangled. Mr. Bernard has been visibly scared for 15 days, but hasn't shared why. He wants a detective to stay with him constantly. Anything more? One thing. He's afraid of you. He doesn't believe you're the man I promised. You didn't ask why? No, he never shares reasons. So I just stay with him? Yes. And find out what he fears. Your name is Beatrice? Yes. Also Valeria. Forget Valeria. Miss Beatrice, how old is Bernard's second wife? About 25. Why ask? Since childhood, I've thought if a rich old man's young wife loved me, life would be easy. Beatrice stared. What's her name? Isabel. Why these questions? Lovely name, Damien sighed. Mr. Damien, what nonsense. First-class nonsense, Beatrice. If love were bad, the greatest literature wouldn't celebrate it. You've read Juliet, Cleopatra, Romeo, and Antony. Read them and you'll believe. Your clothes are wet, and you confuse me, she reminded. Oh, Grandpa's confusion. If you don't want, just tell Isabel not to fall for me. No one's forcing. If she did, fine. I'll work for free, day and night, for Bernard. Just for you, Valeria's friend. Chapter 9. Bernard Collingwood looked at Damien expectantly, seated near a window. What can you do for me? He asked. First, tell me, do you recognize him? Who? The one you fear. I'm not afraid of anyone. Then why a private detective? Bernard was silent, his face clouded. Don't you know him? Damien pressed. How would I know? Then why mention the owl and Prince of Night? Damien laughed softly. My friends call me Owl, and I like it. The poetic name for owl is Prince of Night. You lie. Still, you know something. If you recognize him, I'll pay £300,000, set aside for this. Don't you recognize him? Number? If I did, he wouldn't be alive. Strange. Why fear him? That's personal. I understand. He's a blackmailer. And you recognize him? No one can recognize him. But Beatrice said you would. Before Damien could reply, a knock came, followed by a woman's voice. May I enter? Bernard looked nervous and glanced at Damien, who was wrapped in a sheet after shedding wet clothes. No chance, Bernard said quickly. What do you mean? The voice hardened. There's a stranger here, wet, and it's inappropriate. What state? He's soaked. New manager at Fairview Industries. Came today, got wet, now only in a sheet. Excuse me, lame excuse. That Beatrice can't stay. Beatrice isn't here. Then no strangers? No, madam. Truth Bernard closed the door, smiling awkwardly. These women are suspicious. Did you see? Yes. Was that the madam? Yes. Modern woman, old-fashioned mind. She dislikes Beatrice, but without her, my work stalls. She's intelligent. Let's return to the matter. Certainly. He's staying in your guest house. How did you find out? I keep track of unusual city events. Then you know his identity. Number. But I plan to learn it. You're fooling me. Tell me and you'll have £300,000 by morning. Strange. He's in your guest house and you don't know who. True. There are 12 men there now. One is him. How do you know? He told me by letter. With an owl's picture? Yes. You know that too? Yes. Does he want to blackmail you? Yes. Consider it so. Why stay with you? To intimidate me? To show he controls me, close but untouchable? Is he really connected to the United States of America? Not certain. 4 American traders stay at the guest house. Do you know a man named Patrick? No? New name. No El Zorro's manager. Number why ask? Just thinking aloud. Can you stop me? Must be a reason. Yes, like asking about Patrick. You don't know Patrick or El Zorro's manager, but want to know about the manager. It won't work hiding things. And you'll keep hiding? What? You know that blackmailer? No. Then why mention El Zorro's manager? So you do know him? Yes. Why mention him? He said a dangerous man stays at your guest house. Bernard paced, agitated. Why tell you? Damien watched quietly. Patrick was El Zorro's partner, murdered recently. He told the manager he was after a dangerous man. If caught, big money. Manager said the man stays in your guest house. Strange. I know the manager in another role. Tell me. No reason to hide. El Zorro smuggles liquor. They once tricked me into lending launches. Near the port, I own 58 boats. Have you heard Patrick's name linked to smuggling? No. Damien showed Bernard photos. This is Patrick. Recognize him? Yes, but he told me his name was Porter. He wanted to use my launches illegally, if partner to El Zorro, likely involved in smuggling. Did you refuse? Of course, I'm cautious. He said he'd lived in the USA. When was the last you saw him? About a week ago. Now it's clear. Patrick recognized that dangerous man. He threatened me because I harbored a criminal. I hadn't received the blackmailer's letter then. I got angry and threw him out. That blackmailer, sign of the owl, is ruthless. Bernard fell silent. Damien said nothing further, deep in thought. Chapter 10. Bernard was anxious to end the matter quickly. He hadn't explained why he needed to identify the blackmailer. Damien had been there 3 days, seemingly doing nothing but sighing deeply throughout. He was making subtle attempts to attract Isabel's attention, a sharp-featured, sharp-tempered woman who regarded Damien coldly. Beatrice, watching his awkward efforts, would shake her head knowingly, having heard all about Damien from Valeria, her friend. Bernard's daughter Emily was bewildered. Damien's entry into their household was strange. First thrown out for being soaked, then accepted as the new factory manager, a fact Bernard disclosed privately. The strange episode remained a secret. Isabel wasn't told, and Emily was forbidden to mention it. They all dined together. After dinner, they gathered in the study for coffee or cards. Bernard was lively, often forgetting his age and illness in the company. 4 American guests often joined them. Among them, Dennis Robillard, over 50, heavily built with a Roman-style mustache, partly Spanish by ancestry. Samuel Drake, about 30, attractive, but laughed at everything, undermining his charm. Jeremy Aldridge, quiet and thoughtful, never laughed openly, but his eyes hinted at mirth. Benjamin Cohen, a Jew with cat-like eyes, petty in Bernard's view, always trying to amuse women with affected humor. That evening, Damien moved toward the ping-pong room where Isabel and Benjamin were playing. Benjamin disliked Damien's presence. Isabel appeared indifferent, treating Damien as a servant, proud, narrow-minded. Damien stood watching, inching closer to the table. He bent low to examine the surface, placing his head in the path of a ball Isabel struck. "Are you absolutely a donkey?" Isabel snapped. "Apologies," Damien said, straightening. "Step back," she ordered. He complied, standing rigidly, tears streaming unnoticed down his face. Isabel returned to the game. Damien, abandoned to his grief, sat and cried quietly but audibly, drowning out the click-clack of the game. The players stopped, watching silently, unable to comfort. Isabel's sharp features softened as she observed him. They exchanged helpless glances and quietly left. Damien listened to their footsteps fade, then smiled mischievously, eyes dry. He picked up Benjamin's racket, wrapped it in an old newspaper, and tucked it away. Chapter 11. Next morning at breakfast, Damien was absent. Only Benjamin sat, to Isabel's right. The chair on the left remained empty. No one waited for Damien. When he arrived late, Bernard greeted him with a nod. The others watched Damien closely, his face pale and eyes red, as if he'd been sleepless. Damien first sat beside Isabel, then abruptly moved to another chair, glancing at Isabel with nervous eyes. She stared. "What's wrong?" Bernard asked. "Nothing. Just, my mind is restless. Couldn't sleep. Nothing special," Damien said, forcing a laugh. Bernard resumed eating. Damien began. Isabel occasionally watched from the corner of her eye. Benjamin drank coffee, amusing Emily with jokes. Suddenly, Benjamin asked, laughing, "Why did you cry last night?" "Me? No, Mr. Aberbeale, Damien said in surprise. The group burst into laughter. Benjamin did not understand what he said and took it as a joke. Damien's discomfort grew as the laughter intensified. Some doubled over. Bernard rose, leaving still chuckling. Damien quietly rose too. In the corridor, Damien caught Bernard. "You're a strange man," Bernard said, exhausted from laughter. His face was flushed. He battled nervous disorder. "I think you received another threat last night." "How did you know?" "I saw you pacing." "Yes, I got another letter, threatening to kill someone here if his demands aren't met. He claims such a murder would prove his recklessness, citing the daylight killing in Sir Oliver's compound." "Then let me be the next victim," Damien said innocently. "What? Don't you know what murder means?" Damien drew a finger across his neck. "I don't understand. Explain." "How can I explain better than this?" Damien said, annoyed. "Why would you want to be killed?" Bernard looked puzzled, embarrassed at his question. "Let's end this," Damien said. "I won't ask why he blackmails you. But tell me, what does he want now?" Bernard sighed. "He's crossed all limits. He wants Emily married to him." "Your daughter?" "Yes." "Then you will catch him. He must face you for marriage." "He can do anything," Bernard said anxiously. "After marriage. What can I do? I don't understand this." "Neither do I. Emily is my only daughter and heir. He wants my property. But Isabel and I are alive. He must appear before us." "How much has he taken so far?" £1.2 million. "God damn it," Damien gritted his teeth. "I wonder if he pays taxes." Bernard was silent. "Do you suspect any of those 4 American guests?" "No, I know them well." "All right then." "Shh, someone's coming." Damien looked down the corridor as a servant approached with a visiting card. Bernard glanced at it. "Assistant Director Ryan Blake." "Seat him," Damien said. The servant left. Now this could get messy. El Zorro's manager likely told Blake everything. Blake must not find me here or he'll come after you. "Why?" "You know in spy novels how government agents despise private detectives." Bernard stared, then said, "If I didn't trust Beatrice?" "Yes, you'd shoot or hang me," Damien joked. "Patrick's murder, understand?" Bernard moved ahead. Damien turned back to his room. In the corridor, Isabella waited alone. She smiled. "That Aberbeale joke was good." "Sorry," Damien said sheepishly. "I asked Bernard why people get names. He explained, I forget names easily. I'll apologize to Mr. Azazel." "Not Azazel Benjamin." Isabel laughed. "Oh!" Damien smacked his face. "Come with me," Isabel said softly. They entered the empty billiard room. "You cried last night." Damien blushed. An expert at showing emotion, he bowed his head silently. "I'm ashamed of my behavior," Isabel said gently. Tears welled in Damien's eyes, running down his cheeks as he muttered, "I'm a poor man, a tiny child. No one understands me. I'll die. I'll just die someday." "What troubles you?" Isabel asked softly. Damien ignored her. "I thought of suicide last night, but remembered I owe a debt to someone." Isabel wasn't sure whether to laugh or sympathize. He babbled on. "Yesterday I dreamed. I'm a child. You're a child too, running in a vast forest. You fell. I carried you to a lake. A silver fairy bathed and sprinkled silver water. Then another dream." He kept his head bowed. Isabel blinked in surprise. "You burned my dreams last night," Damien said. "I feel like drinking petrol and swallowing embers." Isabel held back laughter. Damien's tears grew heavier. "I'm a poor man, not loved by the world. No lover's lake for a princess. Just die sobbing. Let me die." Damien left quickly. Isabel stared after him, mouth agape. Chapter 12. Ryan Blake had left, and Bernard sat in the study, lost in thought. Damien's footsteps made him start. "He's gone?" Damien asked. "Your guess was right. He came about Patrick. Today, Patrick's photo appeared in the papers. Blake showed it to me, asked if I'd seen him. I admitted I knew a man who looked like him, but called Porter, not Patrick." Then he mentioned the El Zorro manager and suggested Patrick's killer was among my guests. I got angry. When he said he wanted to question the guests, I was furious. He softened when I told the liquor smuggling story. I stalled him and didn't let him near the guest house. "So you want to protect him," Damien said sharply, even though he was crying in front of his wife just minutes ago. "Understand me. Police won't catch him or recognize him, but I'll be ruined." "Let it be," Damien snapped. "What do you mean?" I was thinking. "Suppose you agree to his demands." "Never," Bernard hissed. "Just hypothetically, how will you inform him?" "What kind of message?" "That you accept." "You asked too late." "I would have asked sooner, but Blake arrived. I must mark a wall in a specific color. That's the message. He wrote it in his letter." "Ah, the cut-out letter method." "Yes, typed, not handwritten." "Too much trouble," Damien muttered. "Which wall? Which color?" "A special mark." "Try it. Maybe we'll catch him." "What if we fail?" "I won't leave till I catch him." "Waste of time. Leave." "No." Bernard stared, speechless. "You're clever?" Bernard finally smiled. "I was joking." "Joking?" Damien laughed. Bernard joined, though his laugh was bitter. Chapter 13. The evening was mild, sunlight fading over the trees. Activity buzzed in Bernard's rear park. His all guests and city friends, including women, gathered in small groups for tea. Damien walked alone, hands clasped behind his back, indifferent to amused glances. He once stumbled face first into a flower bed, but continued. Isabel watched closely. Emily was with Benjamin and Samuel Drake. Dennis Robillard argued with Jeremy Aldridge over color and race. Aldridge was quiet, but flared his nostrils fiercely, like a fighting innkeeper. Damien switched tactics, now gathering jasmine flowers. As night fell, most left, but Isabel lingered. Damien approached, bouquet wrapped in a handkerchief. "What childishness is this?" Isabel smiled. "Don't say that. I'm a child. I want to live. These flowers are for that." "You're an owl," Isabel said, tight-lipped, then turned away swiftly. "I'm an owl," Damien murmured. "If your husband heard, I wouldn't even get a receipt for £300,000. Chapter 14. Assistant Director Ryan Blake returned at 10 that night. A servant brought Bernard his card. "What rudeness is this?" Bernard asked. "He insists he's police and demands to meet immediately." "Tell him I'm at dinner. He must wait." "What's going on?" Isabel asked. "Nothing. He's investigating the smuggler's murder." "What's your connection?" "I kicked that smuggler out. He wanted to use my boats for liquor smuggling." Isabel resumed eating. Emily tried to ask something, but Bernard stopped her. The guests are eating silently. After dinner, Bernard met Blake in the study. Others waited for coffee. Isabel seemed uneasy, glancing at Damien, who returned her gaze steadily. Beatrice watched them worriedly. Coffee finished, Bernard stayed. Others rose, tired from earlier park games. Damien and Isabel left together. She walked slowly. Damien matched her pace. "What's wrong?" Isabel snapped. "A week ago, fever. I'm better. When ill, I want to be soothed by gentle voices. I'll die soon. You'll see." "Why tell me?" "Who else?" "You're all I have, like an orphan bat hanging upside down. Sometimes you make no sense." "My bad luck." "What was with the flowers? Putting them at my feet? So what? I dreamed I'd one day lay flowers at your feet before Bernard. Have you lost your mind? Your tone scares me. It makes me want to sob. Are you mocking me? Fine. Will only my corpse leave this place?" Damien banged his head on the wall. "Hey! Hey!" Isabel got flustered. She was probably also afraid that someone might come there. Actually, Bernard himself was most likely to appear because his bedroom was in this corridor. She jumped forward and began trying to grab Damien, but Damien seemed to be having a fit. Suddenly, footsteps were heard nearby, and Isabel ran into a room, and Damien put both hands in his trouser pockets and started cleaning them because they had gotten chalk from the wall. And the truth was that instead of his head, it was his hands that had hit the wall, but in such a way that it looked to Isabel like he was banging his head. The sound of footsteps receded, and the corridor remained silent as before. Damien peeked into the room where Isabel had gone, but the room was empty and the other door was open. That door also opened into a corridor. Damien stood there for a few moments thinking, then moved ahead. Chapter 15. It was the next evening. Isabel and Damien were alone in the rear park, a secluded spot surrounded by waist-high multi-bushes. A large irrigation tank, filled with floating lotuses, lay nearby. A pair of clipped-wing swans swam silently. The place was pleasant but hidden, seemingly disconnected from the rest of the park. "How deep is this tank?" Damien asked. "I don't know. Why?" Isabel replied. "I wish it were deep enough to drown me." "Are you a complete fool?" Number. "You're the fool for the first time. Usually people call me an owl. Father sometimes called me an owl's chick. Forget that. Answer me. Will you love me or not?" "You must have loved someone before." Isabel bit her lip. "No," Damien said seriously. "Never. This is the first time two souls meet. What do they call it? Meeting. I read somewhere that some people count stars on nights of separation till they become accountants." Isabel laughed. "You won't even cry at my funeral," Damien said, voice choking. Isabel grew serious. The proud wrinkle on her forehead vanished, the one that kept most people from addressing her. She lowered her gaze and said softly, "Have you thought about the consequences?" "Yes, everything." Isabel fell silent. Damien muttered, "An English poet's father told him, 'Son, love. Love burns and makes.' My father never said that, but I will tell my children." Isabel glared again. Damien couldn't tell if she thought him mocking or sincere. "I understand your glare. I want to say something about waterfalls, green fields, moon and stars, the endless blue sky." Damien fell silent, then whispered, "I love you." "Fine," Isabel smiled. "What were you trying to memorize?" Damien nodded solemnly. "My memory's weak. If you want, I can read it." He pulled a crumpled paper from his pocket, spread it on the ground. Isabel laughed and leaned in. Damien read, "Talk of the endless blue sky, two loving hearts with stars passing between them, memories of old days spreading like moonlight over the soul." "Go on." "This is copied from another book. It said birds were chirping, but the fool wrote birds were singing songs. Birds can't sing except my love, foolish one. They can't. God ruin the liar who turns innocent eyelashes into owls." "Who?" Isabel laughed. "That author," Damien said, blowing the paper away. "So, will you love me or beat me with a club?" "You talk too much," Isabel snapped. Damien sighed, holding his head. Isabel stood to leave. Damien jumped and grabbed her hands. "I'll die," he pleaded. "You fool!" Isabel laughed until she doubled over. Click. There was a faint sound. Isabel jumped back. "Someone was here," she whispered. "Maybe," Damien said carelessly. "Over lovers, the angel's shadow hovers. God is master." "Your mind's bad," Isabel said, walking toward the sound. Damien followed, but no one was there. "Mr. Bernard is a suspicious man," Isabel said softly. "If he causes more trouble, I'll kill him," Damien said grimly. "Oh?" Isabel looked at him sharply. Chapter 16. Assistant Director Ryan Blake had stirred chaos in Bernard's guest house. The El Zorro manager was present, and Bernard's face burned with anger. The guests looked annoyed. Bernard tried repeatedly to clear his name, his voice rising and falling. "This man is an alcohol smuggler," Bernard roared, pointing at the El Zorro manager. "He wanted to use my launch for smuggling. I refused. That's why all this trouble." "I'm a black thief, Mr. Bernard," the manager snapped back. "But you can't hang me without proof. I only told AD Ryan what I learned from Patrick, and Patrick told one of his employees." Then tell me, who? Bernard growled. Which guest could be involved in Patrick's murder? I don't know. I told Ryan all I know, the manager replied bitterly. Silence, Ryan Blake commanded, questioning the guests one by one. Suddenly, a voice declared from the doorway, I am Patrick's killer. Ryan Blake spun, anger flaring. Damien entered, flanked by 5 men in military uniforms. How are you here? Blake demanded sharply. Everyone except Jeremy and Bernard. Leave, Damien ordered. 2 soldiers stepped forward and stood by Jeremy, the most serious guest, who carried himself like a philosopher among fools. This is our quarry, Damien said, as the soldiers seized Jeremy's arms. What nonsense is this? Jeremy glared. You won't understand now, Damien said coldly. You are the Prince of Night. Bernard's eyes widened. Jeremy, the man he'd known and respected for 25 years, was the blackmailer, the feared shadow over France and United States. Ryan Blake, leave, Damien commanded harshly. This case concerns the Foreign Department. I am the chief officer of its secret service. Jeremy lunged, brandishing 2 revolvers. Hands up, he roared. Ryan, get out, Damien shouted again. Everyone out, now! Jeremy fired at Damien. Damien rolled aside. The bullet struck the El Zorro manager's thigh. He screamed and collapsed. The others fled with hands raised, Blake first. Damien crawled behind a cupboard for cover. Jeremy watched the guests exit, unaware Damien remained. As the last man reached the door, gunfire erupted outside. Bernard's guest fell wounded. Jeremy flipped a table for cover and fired back, but death crept closer. Damien advanced on his knees like a cat. Jeremy's first revolver emptied. He dropped it and switched the second to his right hand. Damien lunged, disarming him, locking his left wrist around Jeremy's neck and punching his temple repeatedly. His back was held tight like a crab gripping prey. Jeremy couldn't scream before losing consciousness. Damien left him sprawled and stood. Mr. Bernard, only my men and you enter. His men and Bernard followed. Damien shut the door. Bernard's wounded guest lay dead. The El Zorro manager was unconscious, injured. This was someone's room? Damien asked Bernard. Yes, his room. All his belongings here? Yes, he lived alone. Begin, Damien ordered. His men searched the room. Damien knelt by Jeremy, removing the camera slung over his shoulder. He unzipped his jacket, exposing a bandaged chest, bone fractures concealed beneath tight wrapping. Unable to undo the bandages, Damien cut them with a penknife. Bernard watched anxiously, his eyes darting between the searchers and Damien. At one point, he nearly fainted, but steadied himself on a table edge. Beneath the bandages lay 5 sealed, waterproof envelopes. Who has handcuffs? Damien asked. I do, a soldier answered. Cuff him. Remove him from here. Call an ambulance for the wounded. 2 men remain, Captain Red and Lieutenant Langley. You stay. Understood, sir. Chapter 17. The body, the criminal, and the wounded had been removed. Bernard stood pressed against the wall, his mind clearly struggling. His lips were dry, tinged bluish. Bernard Collingwood, Damien said softly, you are afraid. Yes, I am, Bernard choked out. My secret was once held by a blackmailer. Now it is in such hands that even an auction could be held. I have no secret of yours, Damien replied. Yes, Mr. Damien. Among the envelopes you found, one is connected to my affairs. Damien nodded. Each has a name, but I did not see yours. Joseph Randy. Is there an envelope with that name? Yes. Damien stared at him. That's the one. But your name is Bernard. That's my younger brother's name. Mr. Damien, 2 lives will be ruined. Bernard covered his face, sobbing uncontrollably. Damien remained silent, then quietly said, You can take that envelope, but what if he mentions it in court? I don't know. Save me, Mr. Damien. I committed an immoral act. Save me. Damien placed the envelope before him. Bernard bent to pick it up, his hand resting on Damien's foot. This foot will always be on my neck. I valued this envelope. at £300,000. That is yours any time." "Thank you," Damien said. "Had I come for your work, that would be mine. But I was hunting him." Meanwhile, Beatrice came crying. "She will keep lying at your feet," Bernard spat. Damien left him, walking out. Chapter 18. "Sir," Damien told Sir Oliver, "I have 3 more envelopes. Each belongs to prominent local figures. Their names and addresses are on them. As I did with yours, I'll hand them over unopened. Or better yet, I'll burn them." "I want nothing to do with them. Do as you please," Sir Oliver said. "But how did you catch him?" "Better not ask, sir. I had to perform a disgraceful act." "What?" "You'll ask anyway. But if my father knew, he'd disinherit me." "Tell me, or I'll slap you." "I had to. With Bernard's wife." "What? That same—" "What nonsense." "Yes, that. Love," Damien said shyly. "Don't know if it was acting or real." "What do you mean?" "A blackmailer seeks leverage. I tested the waters by courting Bernard's wife, watching who showed more interest. We grew close. One man followed us, Jeremy. 2 nights ago, he secretly photographed us in a suspicious pose. In truth, I held her hands as she laughed, bent over me. The photo would have netted him huge blackmail money. I knew Jeremy was the photographer. He had trailed us to the bushes." Damien recounted the entire story and fell silent. "Damien," Sir Oliver said seriously, "you have an extraordinary mind. What else could work?" "No, sir. I'd have caught him anyway. Even if unproven as blackmailer, he was a conspirator involved in international political schemes. His photo reached my department." "Now it's clear," Sir Oliver sighed. "He demanded international documents from me. If you'd told me, I wouldn't have ruined my afterlife falling for Bernard's wife. What then? God have mercy." "Don't say that." Damien fell quiet. After a moment, he said, "Patrick recognized him. Otherwise, Jeremy wouldn't have killed him. He killed a man who knew him and scared you, showing his reach. Killing in daylight and dumping the body in your garden shows his danger. The call to El Zorro's manager was to lure Patrick to your bungalow. The body's discovery would trap you, especially with the owl connection." "Exactly," Sir Oliver sighed. "I'm forever grateful. And Damien, you won't try to flee the Foreign Department's Strategic Intelligence Directorate." "I can't promise, sir. Sometimes I want to run from my own body, especially when the phone keeps ringing, reminding me the real credit goes to that girl who kept calling." Damien shyly repeated the story as Sir Oliver laughed long and scolded him for ruining his life by not marrying. Bernard never discovered how Damien managed to overpower Jeremy. He asked repeatedly, but Damien always deflected, calling it an official secret. Isabel, however, was immediately frightened by this other side of Damien. She lacked the courage to face him again. Thus, their awkward love story ended there. Yet the mysterious girl still relentlessly calls Damien. He fears that if she continues, he might lose his sanity and start barking like a dog. Often, she even interferes with his work. In response, Damien has adopted a new habit. He raised a puppy. Whenever the girl calls, he places the puppy's mouth near the phone and twists its tail. Thank you so much for watching. Your feedback in the comments is very important to us, so please don't hesitate to share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to Obscura Chronicles and don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. In the next case, we will reveal Damien's true identity, which promises to be very interesting. Stay tuned.